Welcome to the next episode. In this episode, we're going to talk all about message context and how to describe that. At FixSpec, we use something called functional views. And here's an explanation of what that means. The second big area I want to talk about is context. So one of the biggest problems that developers always have whenever they're writing to an API is understanding the context of a particular message and how to populate messages or understand messages in a certain context. So the example I always like to give people is the execution report. So the execution report in Fix is actually kind of a general purpose message. It's kind of a status message. It could be sent because somebody has received a trade. It could be sent for an expiry. It could be sent for an order acknowledgement without a trade. There's lots of different reasons for it. And in each one of those different permutations, actually you'll have different sets of fields, different sets of enumerations, and so on and so forth. And that's really where a lot of complexity comes in. Brokers who operate algos also have the opposite on the inbound. Okay, so if you're asking somebody to send in a new order single message to trigger some sort of algo on your side, then you've got some sort of strategy tag, and then you'll have a whole variety of parameter tags that you need populated or not. Normally those tags and the available enumerations inside of them will vary according to the strategy tag and how you've populated that. It's that if-then statements inside of specifications, that's what makes it really confusing for people to do. Now, how can you address that? In FixSpec, we actually have a concept to address exactly this, and we call it a functional view. A functional view is a business message within a particular context. So what we would do is we would say, okay, you have a new order single message. I'm going to describe that message in its entirety. And a number of fields in there, let's say price, might be marked as optional, because in some cases they're required, and in some cases they're absolutely not required and shouldn't be there at all. And so you have to use optional as being the lowest common denominator. Now, so that's what we call a technical message, a full description of a particular message. And then what we do is we have a series of functional views, each one of which takes that new order single message and puts it in a specific business context. So for example, if you have a stop order, then the stop order is derived from the new order single message, but now you have the stop price, which becomes mandatory, whereas everywhere else it's not required at all, and so on and so forth, right? So think about functional views, think about representing certain pieces of functionality, order types perhaps, inside of your specification, making it really crystal clear for your users exactly which fields and which enumerations are permitted in each one of those different scenarios. And don't just try to make reference to them, glancing reference of, this field becomes mandatory or that field becomes optional. Actually write out the list of fields. I know that'll feel like you're actually just duplicating things and you'll be ending up with quite a long document, but it really, really does help users to understand your specification in a much better way. And focus on the conditionality within those as well. That's the key thing. Okay, hopefully that was useful for you. In the next episode, we're going to talk about how to bring your specs to life so that people actually want to read them.